Selected 1. The silence is killing them, and they must now sit with their lips shut. The exact individual who planned the attacks against you has been abandoned by an entire community. They can no longer get aid from anyone to bully you. Everyone who believed they could band together against you is now understanding why heaven maintains receipts after the law spoke. When the lights come on, everyone else leaves like roaches, leaving that ringleader at the middle, the one who planned this entire spiritual circus against you, sitting alone. The first thing you must comprehend is the true nature of their imposed quiet. The law has ordered someone to stop talking about you, not only recommended, but legally required to keep your name out of their mouth. One guy's catching karma in this situation. A whole neighborhood is receiving documents that they never anticipated. The same people who would never stop talking about you are now unable to speak without the presence of their attorneys. This is when it becomes delicious, though. While their cup goes dry, they must watch yours run over. That unadulterated gift of happiness and contentment you're feeling. They detest it. They hate it. It's choking them. The lovely thing is that they are unable to discuss it in any way. Whatever this decision is or has become, they are essentially forced to accept it, and all they can do is observe. I'll give you the whole picture of what's happening. At the heart of this is a certain individual who attempted to incite the protests against you. They tried to unite people and get their support for pulling you down, but an interesting thing happened. The community looked at the legal ramifications and said, "It's not worth it. It's literally not worth it." They've left this person isolated, forcing them to move forward alone. You know what makes this even sweeter? The way they organized against you revealed their own organizational structure. Every meeting they held about you became evidence. Every group chat where your name was mentioned became documentation. Every coordinated action, they took left fingerprints all over the crime scene. They built the prosecution's case without realizing they were the defendants. The revelation that's breaking right now is about defamation. This is literal defamation coming through in the legal sense, not spiritual warfare, dressed up as concern, not prayer requests disguised as gossip. Actual documented, legally actionable defamation that someone orchestrated against you. And they feel like it's really unfair that they're being held accountable for it. Watch the woe is me energy pouring out of them now. They did not get the results they thought they would. This smear campaign they organized is being proven as exactly what it was. A coordinated attack on your character. There's no competition here anymore. They're realizing there never was competition. You were never competing with them. They were competing with their own projection of who they thought you were. You want to know the most powerful part of your position right now? You didn't have to lift a finger to defend yourself. While they exhausted themselves building cases against you, documenting their lies, spreading their poison, you simply continued being yourself. Your authenticity became their undoing. Your refusal to engage with their drama became the very thing that highlighted their obsession. But let's go deeper into who started this. This is about a relationship that went sour. Someone who had no love lost between you and them managed to rally an entire community to their cause. And here's the kicker. They honestly thought they were going to be victorious. Maybe in the past, they have won similar battles. Maybe they've used the law or community pressure to destroy others before, but not this time. Not with you. The sun is illuminating everything now. There's been some sort of block that's happened for this specific person when it comes to defaming and slandering your character, your name, and your actual professional business. Not mind your business, but your literal livelihood. Evidence has come to light that a court, a judge, or a police officer is taking seriously. They're accepting this as evidence against your attackers. You see, when someone attacks your professional life, your means of making money, your reputation in business that crosses from personal vendetta into criminal territory, they thought they were just gossiping, but they were actually committing crimes. They thought they were sharing concerns, but they were building a conspiracy case. Every business contact they try to turn against you becomes a witness. Every client they attempted to steal becomes evidence. Every professional relationship they tried to poison becomes testimony against them. Someone was definitely trying to bully you. Someone was trying to knock you off your pedestal. That natural authority and abundance you carry triggered something primal in them. The wheel of fortune has reversed for them completely. What they thought was their lucky break in taking you down has become their worst nightmare coming true. The speed at which this is all crashing down on them is breathtaking. You probably noticed how quickly things shifted. One day, they were confident in their campaign against you. The next day, silence. One moment, they were the righteous ones with community support. The next moment, they're alone with legal documents. The universe doesn't always move slowly. When it's time for divine justice, it can happen in the blink of an eye. This is happening fast. Whatever legal action is taking place is overwhelming in its speed and scope. Fast-moving action that's literally detrimental to this specific individual and the entire community that supported them. This ruling is going to affect them in different ways, but every single one of them will feel it. You know what's beautiful about legal consequences? They're public record. Everything they tried to do to you in the shadows is being dragged into the light of a courtroom. Every whisper becomes a documented statement. Every rumor becomes evidence of malice. Every lie becomes perjury if they repeat it under oath. The very shadows they operated in have become the spotlight that exposes them. Think about the psychology of a mob that suddenly realizes they're individually liable. When they were together, they felt invincible. Your singular presence seems small compared to their collective force. But legal systems don't recognize mobs. They recognize individuals. Each person who participated is now facing their own consequences. The group's courage has dissolved into individual terror. Someone is very angry, but more importantly, they haven't healed or learned the lesson from their experience with you. Meeting you, bumping into you, trying to take you down. It was all a karmic lesson they refused to learn. They're literally fighting their own demons while blaming you for their wounds. If you feel the abundance of divine love in your heart, now is the time to share it. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the Super Thanks button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. This divine gift will touch not only your life, but also the souls of many others through this platform. Each of you has a sacred place in God's great design, and your generosity will be the fruit of our prayers. Take action now. Share your blessings to exalt His kingdom, for you were created to do even greater things in God's loving hands. May God bless you. This person has a grudge against you that goes deep. They have an old way of thinking, what some might call traditional thinking. Very stubborn. They're going to be stubborn until the end, literally digging their own grave with their refusal to stop. You know what's fascinating about stubborn people who refuse to learn? They repeat the same mistakes with increasing intensity. Each time they fail to destroy you, they try harder, leave more evidence, make bigger mistakes. Their stubbornness becomes the very rope they hang themselves with. If they had just stopped after the first failed attempt, they might have escaped consequences, but they couldn't help themselves. If these words stirred your consciousness, hype this video to help more chosen ones awaken to this. Someone from your past with outdated thinking keeps replaying events over in their head. They've been in competition with you, but it's not about beauty or surface-level things. There's something about your purity, your innocence, your connection to the divine that they cannot stand. They've been trying to deny that you have a connection to the Most High. Whether you call it God, universe, Allah, source, they've been very vocal about denying your divine connection. Whatever victory comes from this, you're being told to keep your celebration small. Not because you don't deserve to celebrate or don't deserve justice. Not because you don't deserve to be told you were right and they were wrong. It's because whatever victory comes out of this is going to be someone else's complete downfall. Even though they did it to themselves, stay humble. Don't be prideful about their destruction. Your quiet confidence through all of this has been more powerful than any defense you could have mounted. While they were loud in their attacks, you were quiet in your strength. While they gathered numbers for validation, you stood alone with truth. While they needed group approval for their actions, you needed only your own integrity. This contrast is not lost on those watching. Your silence speaks volumes about your character, while their noise revealed their lack of it. You've probably noticed how much they care about appearances. Every public appearance is calculated. Every social media post is curated. Every interaction is performed. They've built their entire identity on how others perceive them. So when their reputation crumbles, their entire sense of self goes with it. You, on the other hand, built your identity on who you actually are. That's why you remain standing while they fall apart. There's heartbreak happening, but not yours. There's something about you that breaks their mold of what they think a chosen or blessed person should be. They don't like that you have direct connection to the divine. They don't want to admit it. So, someone here tried to tear you down, and many people were helping. This is spiritual bullying disguised as religious concern. The religious aspect of this makes it particularly heinous. They use sacred spaces to spread secular lies. They turn prayer circles into gossip rings. They transformed holy gatherings into strategy sessions for your destruction. The very places meant for worship became war rooms against you. This perversion of the sacred for personal vendettas carries its own special kind of consequences. But now they're being told to hush, be quiet, shut their mouths. The community itself has told them to pipe down. It's not just that people are ignoring the ringleader. They've actually said, you need to stop. You need to stop now. Can you imagine the shock of someone who's used to having influence suddenly being told to shut up by their own people? The same voices that once echoed their lies are now telling them to be quiet. The same heads that nodded in agreement are now shaking in disagreement. The same hands that applauded their performance are now pushing them away. You want to understand the depth of their image obsession. They would rather be seen as victims of injustice than admit they were perpetrators of harassment. They're trying to spin this story even now, attempting to make themselves look like the ones being persecuted. But the evidence is too overwhelming. The truth is too documented. Their attempts at image rehabilitation are just digging them deeper. This community feels connected to family. Could be your family or the aggressor's family, but there's an extended unit involved. Someone is very angry that they're not able to continue their campaign against you. They wanted to go on a massive witch hunt, string you up metaphorically, have their righteous anger validated, but it's being exposed as what it really is, bullying. The scatter pattern is telling. Those closest to the ring leader fled first. They knew the most, had the most to lose, saw the writing on the wall earliest. Then the second ring of conspirators disappeared. Now even the peripheral participants are distancing themselves. It's like watching a criminal organization fall apart, each level abandoning the next to save themselves. People are realizing how easily they were duped by somebody at the center of this. They're seeing how easily they were manipulated, how their energy and power were taken away from them. There's stuff this person has been doing that isn't pure, isn't religious, isn't what they preach. They've been projecting onto you everything they've actually been doing themselves. The projection is so complete, it's almost therapeutic to analyze. Every single accusation they made against you is a confession. Every moral failing they attributed to you was their own burden. Every spiritual lack they claimed you had was their own emptiness. You became the screen onto which they projected their own shadow. And now everyone can see the show. This is giving major mirror on the wall energy. Pure jealousy. They've been resentful, competitive, and discontent. People are actually seeing this family member for who they really are. A narcissist, egotistical, an opportunist with a fragile ego. You know what's particularly satisfying? Watching a narcissist lose their supply. The attention they craved is now the wrong kind. The admiration they needed has turned to disgust. Dear brothers and sisters, may God's peace be with you today. I am here to remind you of a profound truth. Our existence is grounded in God's divine plan, unshaken by the world's fleeting concerns. As the Holy Bible says, everything done in faith will be rewarded by God's abundant blessings. Luke 6 verse 38. Like that mighty oak tree, our roots are deeply anchored in God's universal truth. Every step we take, every stance we hold is secured by His power. And now, you have the opportunity to be a part of this blessing. When you click the Super Thanks button and make a $100 donation, this act will return to you 100-fold. The control they wielded has evaporated. They're experiencing narcissistic collapse in real time, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. The community that once fed their ego is now starving them of everything they need to maintain their false self. Everyone's moving away from them now. We don't want to be part of this, they're saying, but they already are associated with it. The distance, divorce, ghosting, and separation happening now reveals the truth. You got a two-faced family member here who's probably trying to get back in your good books. They were trying to set you up for something. The setup was elaborate. They needed you in a specific position, emotionally, financially, or legally to execute their plan. Every interaction was calculated to move you toward that position. Every conversation had an agenda. Every gesture of kindness had a hidden motive. But you didn't move the way they expected. You didn't react the way they planned. Your refusal to play your assigned role in their scheme ruined everything. The motive reveals everything. Strip away the religious language, the moral posturing, the community concern, and what's left is pure greed. They wanted something you have or something you're going to get, but they couldn't just take it. They needed you discredited first. They needed you broken, isolated, declared unfit. Only then could they swoop in and claim what they wanted while looking like saviors. They really care what other people think of them, but not just for self-value. It's about money. Being seen in a specific light helps them gain something material. Family money, blood ties, inner circle benefits. This two-faced person has been living a double life, and they're being exposed as a cheater and backstabber. You may have already blocked this person, moved on with nothing to say, but they're more worried about their reputation being in tatters because now they don't have backup. They felt like they had connections to police, ministers, and religious leaders. They felt upper class or pseudo-middle class, and they've been outed for being fake. The connections they thought they had are severing those ties quickly. Nobody wants to be associated with this scandal. The ministers are clarifying they were deceived. The community leaders are distancing themselves. The people in positions of authority are making it clear they were manipulated. Your attacker is learning that borrowed power evaporates the moment the lenders want their reputation back. The police may be looking at them as a suspect, a person of interest. This is sending shock waves through the community. That's why there's silence. It's gone from gossip sessions about you to complete quiet. They went from, "Did you hear about them? What a lost soul. Oh my God. Did you hear what happened to the individual who was attacking them? We ought to pray for them." The emphasis has shifted entirely. Everyone who attacked you spiritually in the name of their faith is turning back. We didn't actually participate. Oops. How could we have failed to notice this unfortunate person being teased? The same individuals who were discussing you are now discussing your assailant. See how they alter history to suit their own interests. The way you were treated always made them uneasy. They were ignored when they attempted to speak. The charges were never taken seriously by them. But when the lines were formed, you can recall who said what, who did what, and where they stood. You remember their enthusiastic involvement despite their revisionist past. Here's the secret financial component now. They were attempting to unfreeze a certain amount of money. Maybe it got stuck somewhere. They desired it, but they lacked the power to accept it, altering your character in some way. Perhaps they would gain entry if they claimed mental health difficulties. They are utterly delusional, but they want to be viewed as respectable members of the community, nurturers, matriarchs, or patriarchs. The delusion is so strong that they gradually came to believe their own lies. They forgot they made up the story about you being troublesome since they told it so often. They showed concern so often that they were mistaken for real concern. For so long, they pretended to be the victim that they forgot they were the one who did it. When someone prioritizes performance over truth for an extended period of time, this is the result. They are no longer able to tell the difference between the two, yet their history and acts are being heavily illuminated. It has to deal with documented history or search history. Strong evidence has been discovered against them by a regulator, attorney, or investigator. It not only exposes their guilt, but also dispels the facade they have been putting on for years. The evidence is overwhelming. They were unaware of digital footprints, felt that messages had been erased, believed that recordings were being created, believed that paper trails were concealed, and believed that financial transactions were private. They were depending on a level of secrecy that is not possible in the present world. They have been directly targeted by investigators since everything leaves a trace. They presented themselves as saintly individuals and martyrs, while portraying you as someone who is estranged from God. Everyone can now see what people will do out of greed, though. The family is now grieving. discord amongst family members and friends. A legal package or letter is on its way. You could be asked for support, aid, or direction. Nobody is blind to the irony of them trying to destroy you and then needing your assistance. Now, the only stable individual is the one they attempted to portray as unstable. The only person displaying heavenly grace is the one they labeled as being detached from divinity. The only person who could be lenient is the one they attempted to isolate. But there's no need for mercy. It's not necessary to you have complete control over who can enter your space, and your limits are holy. Police or government representatives may now actually get in touch with you regarding an investigation. They might want you to make a statement or testify as a witness. In order to determine what was wrong with this individual, they wish to interview you. You're not having any problems. One piece of evidence they need to finish their 1,000-piece puzzle is you. Because you remained honest during this ordeal, your testimony is credible. You didn't become like them. To compete with their storylines, you didn't fabricate any. You just don't lie. And the most potent weapon in the legal system's toolbox right now is the truth. Now is the perfect time to click the Super Thanks button on YouTube and share God's blessings. You can contribute to his plan and become a part of this divine mission with a donation of $100 or more. Every gift reflects God's generosity, and I believe it will return to you multiplied beyond your expectations. Remember, his protection and blessings are with you in every step you take and every donation you make. You become part of his divine plan. You are a powerful, radiant being, unshakable like his mighty rock. Witness God's miracles. Feel the fruits of your generosity in your soul, and illuminate the world with this confidence and courage. Be blessed, and may the Lord's light guide your way. Their deceit is further exposed by the stark contrast between their web of falsehoods and every honest word you say. Once this is over, watch out for folks patting your back. Yes, we always had faith in you. You always had our support. The individuals who were talking behind your back are those. They were the ones who claimed to pray for you while spiritually assaulting you. They were transmitting venomous energy masquerading as virtue. You can tell the difference between friendship that is fair weather and true support. Genuine allies may validate their support without your validation. When it cost them something, they supported you. When it wasn't popular, they stood up for you. Even when the facts seemed to be against you, they still had faith in you. Your raised space should be accessible to these individuals. Everybody else is merely attempting to follow you to salvation. It is not their wish that has been fulfilled. You own it. Your family's prosperity and total abundance are coming to you. The legal system has ruled in your favor as they watch in silence. In fact, you will win something that is already decided, not them. Your triumph is multifaceted. It goes beyond simple legal validation. It's more than just financial recovery. It goes beyond social atonement. It elevates one's spiritual state. They are unaware of the domains in which you have been promoted. They can't see the authority you've been given. They are unable to reach the proportions in which you have been crowned. They are witnessing a tangible triumph, but it is only the beginning of a journey into everlasting realms. They never realized this when it came to criticizing those who were chosen. There is a record for every falsehood. Your case is strengthened by each unfounded charge. The exact divinity they said you lacked was revealed in every instant of your patience throughout persecution. You didn't have to fight, so you didn't. All the while, the universe was making notes. The universe takes careful notes. All of your tears were gathered. Your murmured prayers were all heard. Every depressing moment you experienced was observed. The universe is currently settling accounts. Their life power is being used as payment for your suffering. Their future is being used to pay interest on your anguish. They're taking money out of their spiritual bank accounts as restitution for your persecution. The individual who planned it all is now sitting in ruins. Their erstwhile followers are busy separating themselves, so they are unable to turn to them for solace. Their attorneys have cautioned them against speaking in public. Because they are imprisoned by the legal system, they're unable to avoid penalties. They've made the cage they built for you their permanent home. Are you curious about what real seclusion looks like? It isn't being by yourself. It's having people around you who don't trust you anymore. Having a complete contact list, but no one to pick up the phone is the problem. It's living in a group of people who know your name, but refuse to use it. They're currently feeling isolated like this. Even worse than the legal repercussions are the spiritual ones. Not the solitary of peace you discovered, but the isolation of judgment they made for themselves. They exploited holy objects for malevolent ends. Faith was weaponized for the sake of greed. They transformed prayer into poison and the community into a mob. The repercussions of these spiritual offenses are incalculable to the legal system. Human law and spiritual law function according to separate principles. Spiritual crimes are not subject to a statute of limitations. Karma does not allow for a plea deal. The divine justice system does not provide early release. Their actions have resulted in a debt that, if required, will follow them for the rest of their lives. Infinity compound interest will be applied to the checks they have drawn against their soul. Persecution wasn't the only thing that happened to you. You were a divine trap's bait. Every moth with blazing wings was drawn to your light because it was so bright. Your genuineness was so unadulterated that it revealed every fake nearby. The test that exposed everyone's actual nature was you. Throughout history, selected ones have played this function. You are put in circumstances where darkness believes it can triumph over light. Before the curtain comes down, you turn into the stage on which evil does its last act. You are the driving force behind things that have been hidden. Everyone in your immediate vicinity must take a side, and they all made the wrong decision because of your very presence, which is a judgment. Let's discuss what sevenfold actually implies, though. Quantity isn't everything. Quality is the key. Cleaner money returns. Better opportunities come up. The bonds are stronger when they return. The divine refinery has enhanced everything they attempted to take from you. You're not simply reclaiming what was rightfully yours. The premium version of what was always meant for you is now yours. Others were spared more agony because of your suffering. Future persecutions were avoided because of your persecution. Your endurance in the face of attacks paved the way for all-encompassing reform. You were the impetus behind the illness's discovery and the start of its recovery. Consider how your stance will affect other people. They protect children who could have become their next victims. They alert those who may have been manipulated and are at risk. They liberate future generations that may have inherited their poisonous behaviors. Dangerous energy that would have destroyed many others has been grounded by your willingness to be the lightning rod. However, you are not responsible for this healing. Those who have not genuinely repented are not deserving of your pardon. Those who left you when it was convenient don't have to be welcomed back. You don't have to become a rehabilitation facility for everyone in order to be vindicated. Allow them to discover their own way to salvation. Let them work in the shadows on their own. Don't act as their therapist. Instead, let them deal with their own problems. The cost of their schooling is already on you. The work of their rehabilitation is not your responsibility. Now, your sole task is to rise to the cause that their persecution attempted to thwart. For good reason. The universe has kept you apart from these individuals. There are some separations that are intended to last forever. After a fire, some bridges shouldn't be rebuilt. You don't have to carry those who attempted to bury you because of your elevation. It's more than simply vindication for you. They are promoting you to the position they attempted to take for themselves. You're being granted the authority they feigned. You are genuinely embracing the influence they created. The group that shunned you will see you become unreachable. Status isn't the only reason for this ascent. It has to do with spiritual authority that is respected by both the visible and invisible worlds. Now, as you speak, several frequencies come into play. Various energies react when you move. Different powers align when you make a decision. The keys to doors they don't even know exist have been handed to you. That's why they're so quiet right now. Not only because of the potential legal repercussions, but also because they are witnessing the realization of their greatest nightmare. What they told you couldn't be, you're becoming. Everything they thought you didn't deserve is coming your way. Since only divine judgment counts, you are demonstrating that their judgment was meaningless. Your credibility will continue to deteriorate with each success you have from now on. Each blessing you are given is evidence of their bad judgment. For them, every door that opens for you also closes for them. Knowing that they attempted to bring you down, they must watch you soar. They will always be plagued by that awareness. You have the money they sought, the esteem they so desperately sought. You deserve it. You are the embodiment of the spiritual authority they exercised. They are publicly, unquestionably, legally, and spiritually delivering to you everything they attempted to steal or obstruct. This brings us to the topic of miraculous delivery. It is protected. You can't take back what is yours. You cannot undo what has been determined for you. You cannot transfer anything that has been sealed in your name. They are unable to touch, yet they are able to observe, desire, and wish. They put you out of their reach for good. You already know the game is rigged, don't you? You can tell the walls are closing in if you're listening. Let's discuss our current course of action. People want to be heard, held accountable, and given a fair hand when they live by the dictates of the market, when profit and property dominate the land. We also hear you. There are pay walls in the Obsidian Inner Order. Yes, the people who support us and keep our mission going provide us with the ammo we need to battle the Archons, resist the machine, go deeper, and find more. Additionally, as a token of appreciation, our premium members receive a weekly, 1-hour live, personalized group tarot reading, as well as direction, understanding, and clarity for the future. However, we cannot overlook kicking a man for lying on the ground. Because of this, you may start stealing the Astral Atom unique daily newsletter for free right now. No catch, no paywall. Simply click the link in the description to sign up for the Patreon free tier. This marks the beginning of our discussion with you. It's also bidirectional. Any email we send you can be replied to. We'll read it, listen to you, and try our best to get the universe itself to respond. We need your help if you can. Take what's free if you can. The Inner Order of Obsidian is open. Let's resume our work now. Selected one. Now, they must sit with their mouths shut. And your hymn of vindication is that stillness. The people who abandoned you are looking ahead to a time when they will only be able to observe your rise from the distance they have created. Their quiet isn't meaningless. It's filled with acknowledgement that they touched something they shouldn't have. They attacked someone they shouldn't have. They stand together against a person who had the support of heaven's troops. The law has made its voice heard. The cosmos has responded, and you're standing precisely where you were supposed to be, rising to heights they can only observe from below, above their grasp, and beyond their touch. Your standing ovation is their compelled silence. Their legal repercussions include their total desertion of one another and your heavenly vindication. That demonstrates how unity based on deception always breaks out. The reality that you founded upon is still standing. They can no longer get aid from anyone to bully you. They can't legally, not because they don't want to. The decision has been made. The verdict is definitive. You have the freedom to become everything they attempted to stop. Discover why those who are chosen are picked for a reason while they sit in the stillness they attempted to force upon you. Right now, the quiet around you is full with potential. Your history is now closed, as is every closed mouth that once spoke against you. You receive a spiritual relief for each legal constraint imposed on them. Every member of the community who has ignored them has unintentionally turned to face your light. No one needed to be persuaded. You did all the raising, and the truth did all the talking. This is your time for discovery, not retaliation. Of restoration rather than revenge. Out of purpose, not pride. Your empire is built on the basis of the entire community that banded together to defeat you. The fertilizer for your growth was their combined effort to bury you. Your coronation was orchestrated in response to their well-planned onslaught. And keep this in mind as you stand here in this moment of total vindication. Before they rejected you, you were selected. Even if they reject you, you are still chosen. Long after their rejection turns into a cautionary story to warn others, you will be selected. They are not merely being punished by the quiet they are going through. It is your license to live your purpose without hindrance, to speak your truth without opposition, and to advance to your destiny without hindrance. The platform for your ascent has been transformed from the stage they constructed for your demise. The spotlight they used to highlight your alleged shortcomings is now shining on your demonstrated strength. The people who came to see you fail are now watching you succeed. And that silence, which drowns out the charges of hell, is the sound of heaven's cheers. They can no longer get aid from anyone to bully you. The army is no more. The generals are no longer in control. You won without firing a shot, and the war they declared is over. Their attack was planned before your victory was written. Before they had told their first lie, your victory was certain. Prior to their initial meeting, your elevation was planned. This is what being selected means. This is the definition of protection. This is what being assigned by God entails. They believed that they were merely dealing with another individual whom they might subdue by intimidation. They were persecuting God's own, damaging heaven's investment, and tampering with divine property without realizing it. They are aware now. Everyone is aware now. And the finest triumph of all is the realization, the acknowledgement, the forced acceptance of who you truly are.